get to know about you. It is basically what people say about you when you are not in the room. This is a statement made by Jeff Bezos. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Okay? So let me ask you guys. Sure, okay. Personal brand is basically how people feel about you. But what determines what people are going to think about me and how people are going to feel about me? What determines, just say for example, I came here, right? And then there were some mishaps and all of us were a little awkward for some time. Bro, kya ho raha hai? Why is it taking so much time? Okay, and then as soon as I began, we were like, okay, chalo, all set. Okay? So what determines what people are going to think and feel about you? Yes, go ahead, once again.
According to me, there are three things that determine what exactly people will be thinking about you. One is communication,
Absolutely.
Second is your attitude, and third is your body language.
Okay, round of applause for him once again. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so as soon as you meet anyone, आप किसी से भी मिलते हो, there are 4 things you observe about them. Right, and that happens without you even first opening your mouth. Okay, so let me ask you, what is the first thing people observe as soon as you walk in? What happens? What is the first thing people observe? Appearance, dressing sense, absolutely. Right, the first thing people are always gonna observe is your appearance. Your appearance determines so many things. Your financial level. Right, what position are you in, as for example, a leadership position or not. Okay, so all of that is determined by your appearance. Okay, now what do I mean by that? For example, let's say my appearance determines who I will attract initially. आप जब college में enter हुए, for example, right, you decided to get into Narayana Business School, and then the first day of your class. Okay, so your appearance determines who you attract. Right, that's number 1. That is the first thing people observe about you. Now, chalo, theek hai, appearance ho gaya. What happens after appearance? What do you observe right after you are done evaluating someone's appearance? Communication. That is the third thing people observe. Confidence is a part of. Okay, the second thing people observe about you is your body language. Okay, so body language determines how confident are you perceived by, how confident are you perceived by everyone around you. For example, right now, I take this session, I have my hands open, I am occupying space. If I was to take this session, like this, right now my hands are closed. This is not wrong in any way, but now my hands are not outside of my shoulder line, they're inside. There is a difference. What difference do you observe? What difference do you observe? Alright, by the way, please, so this is a badge for anyone that is responding, a lot. So I would love to give you a badge, by the way. So can you just pass it to him? Can we give him a round of applause? Yes.
So, like the opening of the hands indicates how open and how interactive the session would be. How open are you to the thoughts of the people sitting inside the auditorium? How open are you to interacting with people, like other than who you know, and open to ideas about other people?
Most definitely, that also plays a role. Can we have a round of applause for it? But there's more to it though. Okay, sure. It is also about how confident I am. For example, let's say you must have observed people that don't open their arms as much. Right? For example, now if my arms are just stuck to my body, okay, I'm not confident anymore. Right? This is just basic fundamental interaction with humans. Right? This is where it all begins. This is how you start building your influence. Okay, it starts just, that's it. You create this separation, you are now perceived as more confident. It's as simple as that in the beginning.
Right, so that is the second thing. Body language, occupy space. This, right, if my hands are just attached to my body, my extensions, right, my palms are inside my shoulder line, I'm underconfident. Right, my palms are inside my shoulder line, my elbows are outside, I'm confident. Okay, and if both of them are outside, I am now supremely confident. Like this is now again, this also can be perceived as overconfidence at times. So you need to be mindful. You cannot be arrogant when you are, being too. Let's say you're opening your hands too much. Don't be arrogant because otherwise, don't be boastful because people will assume that you're arrogant, right? So that's body language. What is the third thing people observe? Communication. Yes, that is the third thing. Right? Before you even begin to speak, in the first 7 seconds, people have evaluated you based on your appearance and your body language. Okay, and then you get the opportunity to speak. If you speak well, most definitely you are able to retain people more. If you can't speak well, right, you miss out on an opportunity. So that's communication. Okay, and these are the three things. The fourth thing is grooming, the finer details. Okay, once everyone has observed you कि ठीक है कैसा दिखता है ये बंदा, right, body language कैसा है, कैसे बात करता है. Now they will observe the finer details. Is his beard groomed, right? Are his nails done? Okay, how are his hair? All of that. So that's appearance, body language, communication, and grooming. Okay, चलो ठीक है ये तो मैंने बता दिया कि ABCD. But how do you decide what to wear and when to wear? Okay, because again, just this information is not enough. Okay, so personal branding, the path to your dream life. Dream life. Now, everybody has a different dream life. You do not need to wear suits all the time. Am I making sense? Does everyone need to wear suits all the time? Absolutely not. That depends who you are trying to attract. Like for example, let's say if I work with big names like Porsche, and the reason I was able to work with Porsche was because my appearance, my body language, the way I speak, all of that was aligned with Porsche. They were looking for someone that was super refined, and I fit that criteria really well. So if you want to attract something that is super refined, you want to work with corporations that want people that are at that level and are super refined, like Porsche or Apple or anyone. You need to project that image through your appearance. Okay? So before that, you know what? Let's do an activity wherein you guys understand what exactly it is that you want out of your dream life. Okay, so what I want you to do is just sit upright, right? Straighten your spine, put your hands on your laps, and close your eyes and just listen to my voice. Just close your eyes, take calm breaths, and listen to my voice. Imagine that you have only 10 years. 10 years to build your dream life. What kind of life would you want? In those 10 years, what do you want to achieve? Financially? What kind of money you want, what kind of money you want to make, how do you want to make that money? Physically, what kind of a body you want, right? How do you want to maintain that body? Socially, what kind of people do you want to surround yourself with? Mentally, how do you want to feel in these 10 years? Visualize all of that. Feel that you already have achieved that dream. Okay. Now, visualize that you only have 1 year. Same things. Right now, what is your dream life? Financially, what do you want to achieve now? in smart work and hard work. Two children asked to solve a problem, and upon solving the problem, they were given different affirmations. Okay, one group of students, children, was given the affirmation, "Oh my God, you are so smart." Okay, you are so smart, so intelligent, all of it. The other group, Group B, was given the affirmation, "Oh my God, you're so hardworking. I'm so proud of you. Right? You're so hardworking." Okay, what happened is that they gave these groups tougher problems. What do you think the smart ones did? The ones that were given the affirmation that, "Oh my God, you're so smart." What do you think they did? What? They lost, absolutely. The ones that were given the affirmation that, okay, you know what, you are smart. They thought that, okay, you know what, I can't solve it. I'm smart, but it's not happening. So it's just right now out of my league. I can't do it right now. The ones that were given the affirmation that, okay, you know what, I can figure it out. I am hardworking. They put in more effort and they got it done. Right? So how do you identify yourself as a smart worker or a hard worker? Perfect, beautiful. Right, so that's number one. Dream life, identity. Okay, below identity, what builds identities? So what is level 5? If I have the identity of XYZ person, if I have the identity of a fitness person, if I have the identity of a rich person, if I have the identity of XYZ, what are the things below identity that build? Yes. Yes, to maintain that identity, what do I need to do? What builds an identity?
So I would say consistency to maintain that identity. If you give an example of gymnastics, so if I have identity of having 6 packs and 6 abs, and so I will just maintain that consistency in my gym, and in future I will just not make it. I think it will not ruin that my identity, and it will not ruin my end goal.
Man, that is, you are along the perfect path. Can we give him a round, guys? Okay. Basically, below your identity, so which is level 6, level 5 is habits. Your identity is a sum of your habits. What does that mean? If you have the identity of a fitness enthusiast, you will work out on a daily basis. You have the habit of working out. If you have the habit of a rich person, right, rich, wealthy individual, you will create more than you consume on a regular basis. You have a habit of creation. You have a habit of providing value to the world. That is how you become rich. Right? If you have the habit of, let's say, public speaking, right? You identify as a public speaker. What do? You get on the stage on a very regular basis. Right? You have the identity of a YouTuber, of an Instagrammer. What do? You post on a regular basis. Right? So your identity is the sum of your habits. Okay? Now what are habits made of? Yeah. Okay, wait, yes, I'll give you just. What are your habits made of?
Actions.
Absolutely, round of applause. Right? Any action done on a consistent basis becomes a habit. Okay? Actions lead to habits. That's level 4. Okay, dream outcome, below dream outcome is identity, below identity, habits, below habits, actions. Now where do actions stem from? The level of your actions determine the level of your life. Small actions, small life, big actions, big life. Okay? Where do your actions stem from? Bang on, round of applause for everyone. Your actions stem from your mindset. That's level 3. What is your mindset? Your mindset is a collection of your beliefs. Beliefs. That's level 2. And beliefs are built through level 1, which is thoughts. Which is why when Napoleon Hill said, "Think and grow rich," you actually can. Right? So these are the 7 levels of life. It starts at the fundamental level, your thoughts. How many of you know what ants is? Ants. A-N-T-S. What is ants? Go ahead.
And NTS, right?
Yes, ANTS.
Interpages. Interpages.
Yes, it is. You are correct, but I'm not talking about that ant. But still, can you give me a round of applause for standing up? So, ants is short for automatic negative thoughts. Okay, we all have it. As soon as something bad happens in life, do you automatically get negative thoughts? Right? So, oh, you know what if this happens? What if that happens? Okay? You need to convert it to apps. Automatic positive thoughts. As soon as you do that, your negative conversation turns into positive conversation. The relationships that you have with people from negative, they turn into positive. Okay? So, once you determine your dream outcome, this is all internal, by the way. I have still not talked about anything external about branding. So, this is about internalizing your brand and building a complete behind the scenes blueprint. That, okay, what is your culture? Your culture is basically culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Basically, and what is your culture? Your culture is the set of habits that you have. Okay, you want to excel in your career, regularly do projects, regularly do case studies, regularly put all of your heart and soul into it, you will get to that point. Okay, every interaction that you have with a professor, with a colleague, with everyone that you are sitting around with you right now, you are building your personal brand. Right? You operate from a space of negativity, you have constant negative thoughts, your interactions will turn negative, and negativity pushes people away. Right? As soon as you turn your negative thoughts into positive thoughts, like, okay, you know what, he did not respond, why? He might be busy. Okay, she did not respond, why? She's busy, something urgent has come. Okay, he said something incorrect, he does not have anything against me, he is in a bad state of mind. There is nothing to do with me. Okay, it has everything to do with them. Right? It's not about me. I am, and also that does not mean yet that you do not improve. Okay, obviously it's supposed to improve, but not because you're not supposed to value other people's opinion as much, because a lot of the times the opinions people have, they are not true. See, here's the thing, right? Value the person's opinion that is already living your dream life. आप उनके opinions value करो, उनकी बात सबसे ज़्यादा सुनो. Okay, they are the person that can help you the best. Right? Intentions and all, I'm not saying they don't matter, they do matter. For example, if I have my father, right now, he has never built a $20 million company, right? That's making, let's say, that much amount of money. Now, he loves me a lot. He wants me to become successful. His opinions may or may not help me, not necessarily. On the other hand, I know someone that has my exact skill set, right? I know someone that has maneuvered the life way, the way I would want to maneuver life, and he's living the dream that I want to live. Right? Similar strengths, similar dreams. I will listen to his opinion, for sure. I will take notes. Not on everything, but most definitely on career. Okay, for example, if you want someone's financially you want to be like someone, take their financial advice, don't take their relationship advice. Okay? If you like someone's relationship a lot, take the relationship advice, but don't take their financial advice. Okay? Don't be a follower, be a student. What is the difference? What is the difference between a follower and a student? What is the difference between a follower and a student? Anyone? Yes, go ahead.
Follower will just follow the path the person has followed exactly the same in every condition. And a student will just see a specific, let's take an example of faculty. So I don't follow a particular faculty. I just gain the knowledge which they are best. So I'll say if some faculty is good in economics, I'll just be a student and I'll learn economics. Or in marketing, I'll learn marketing. And follower, if I am a follower of some faculty, so I'll just go and I'll just ask her let's say doubt of finance to an economy faculty. So I
Perfect, perfect. Round of applause, correct, absolutely. As a follower, you blindly follow everything the other person says. As a student, you absorb it, you compare it with everything else, and then if you want to accept it, you accept it. Okay, don't be a follower, be a student. Okay, when you become a student instead of being a follower, you are actually building the life that you want, not the life they want you to live. There's a big difference. Make sense? Perfect, right? Moving forward, there are four emotions that if you make these four emotions, right, you are making the other person, you are capable of making the other person feel these four emotions. They'll absolutely be mesmerized by you. And I want you to use this every time you're having an interaction with anyone, with a teacher, with anyone new. You make them feel these four emotions, you will be capable of building very strong connections. And connections are very important because every opportunity that you will get in your life, it will come from someone else. Okay, opportunities come from people. You master how to communicate with people in the right way that is aligned with your values, that is aligned with your personal brand. You will be able to pull opportunities like anything. Okay, four emotions. What is the first emotion? That you need to make the other person feel. Anyone. Let's say you're having a conversation with a stranger. College में आपका पहला दिन है, आप किसी के साथ बात कर रहे हो. पहली first emotion आप क्या feel करवाना चाहोगे? Comfort, absolutely, round of applause. Okay? Why? Because without comfort, you cannot move forward. अगर आप comfortable नहीं हो किसी के साथ, आप नहीं सुनोगे उनकी बात. Right? That's comfort. After comfort, what is the second emotion?
Hello. That I am interested in talking to you.
वो तो comfort से ही हो गया. I heard. Absolutely, round of applause. Guys, how do you know all of this? Alright, so that is the second emotion, guys. Trust. Comfort is a surface level emotion. Just because I'm comfortable with someone does not mean I'm going to share all of my secrets with them. To build a deep connection, you need to build trust. Okay, chalo, comfort ho gaya, trust ho gaya. What is the third emotion? Support.
Patient listener.
वो trust में आ गया. That is how you will build trust. You cannot build trust without patient listening. Yes, go ahead. वो emotion थोड़ी है. What is the emotion? Better listener. Okay, the third emotion. Okay, let me ask you. If you have only made them feel comfortable and gained their trust, you are just a nice guy. Nice person. What happens with nice people? People take them for? Absolutely, you know it. Smart guys. Mindset, okay. So, alright, so we talked about, alright, go ahead, yes, sure. What do you want to say?
Understanding, sir.
Understanding, okay. No, there's the third thing, yes.
Yeah. Sense of belongingness.
No, okay, yes. No, alright. Okay. The third emotion you need to make them feel is respect towards you. Right? So that they don't take you for absolute. Okay, comfort, trust, respect. How do you build respect? Giving advice is one way. It most definitely helps if it's the right advice for sure. Alright. Number one, setting boundaries for sure. Okay, most definitely setting boundaries. Okay, you cannot treat me like this, you can treat me only like that. That is going to help them understand how they are supposed to interact with you and how they are supposed to treat you, for sure. But apart from that, you need to be able to demonstrate competency. Okay, an employee that is super competent, the employer is will, for example, एक बहुत अच्छा salesman है. Someone sells a lot of products for my company. He's a very competent salesman. If he makes a mistake here and there, I respect him enough to let that mistake go. That is a form of me giving him respect. Hey dude, he makes good, he does a lot for me. ये मैं जाने दूँ. As a matter of fact, a lot of the times when people are super competent, they tend to take company guidelines for granted at times. Why? Because they become arrogant and वो सर पे चढ़ जाते हैं. And The thing is, employers tolerate them too. Why? Because they respect their ability. I'm not advising you to do that. I'm just giving you an example. So please, don't become arrogant for sure, right? But that is what happens, right? So competency is a form of respect. Setting boundaries is a form of respect that you can use, right? Now, chalo, comfortable feel करवा दिया, trust gain करवा दिया, respect command कर लिया. What next? What is the fourth emotion? Now it is deep interest in them. Take deep interest and try and provide some sort of value, some piece of information that might help them move forward, or some opportunity that might be of use to them. Only then. By the way, why is this sequence important? मैं पहले value क्यों नहीं दे सकता हूँ? So many people try and help you first, right? Why can't I give value first? What happens if I give value first? Anyone? Yes, go ahead.
You come out as a smaller person if you give value in initial stages.
There's something else. But good, yes, you are along the right track though. But yes. Desperate. Okay, maybe. Yes. Alright. Lack of trust. Okay. Yes, correct. Bang on. Round of applause for it. Okay. Here's the thing, right? If I have given value to you, if I'm giving value to you, but you do not feel comfortable around me, you do not trust me, you do not respect me, will you value that value? You'll be like, dude, I don't need this from you. What are you doing? Stop being nosy. Okay, so don't just try and help. First, make sure, does this person even want help from me? Or will I come across as something else? Okay, so that is why it is important. And even then, right? You cannot build respect. You should not build respect before you build trust. Why? Because then people will be pushed away by you. Okay, dude, ठीक है, दोस्ती भी नहीं हुई and he's setting boundaries already. So this is the sequence that you need to follow. In order to actually build strong relations with people, you make sure that everyone around you opportunities as a speaker? Do you want to attract more opportunities in terms of gathering an investment? What are you trying to do with your personal brand? Have a proper objective. Objective defined kar liya, okay, this is what I want. If you are building a D2C brand, right? D2C something, you are doing something related to that. Then you need to talk about that product, you need to talk about that expertise. For example, how many of you know Kusha Kapila? Right? Perfect. She launched her product on, clothing line. What was the name? Underneath. Yes, underneath, absolutely. Before she launched underneath, what did she do? She started talking about the problems the customers face. Right? वो कब हुआ जब idea उसका objective sort था. She knew that she was going to launch it. She did not talk about that before. Then, right? So that was her purpose. And then she found out, okay, this is the audience that I have. Right? So after the objective comes the audience, but again, both of these are interchangeable. It's not necessary. She already had the audience as well. Okay, so you can do it both ways. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको उसी तरीके से करना है, wherein you have your purpose first and then your audience. No, you can have your audience first too. Okay, but generally, if you have an outcome defined, it helps you streamline everything. Right? So purpose, audience, or audience, purpose. Once that is done, then you solve that audience as much as possible and be absolutely clear who your audience is. She was absolutely clear. Okay, this is the problem that I'm solving and this is who I'm solving it for. Clothing for women. Okay, her identity is absolutely clear. Okay, now once that is done, all you are supposed to do is understand what formats you need, what formats will bring you sales, what formats will bring you engagement. Two different formats. Both of them do not lead to the same thing. If I want reach, there's a different format I need. If I want sales, there's a different format I need. By the way, guys, in today's day and age, if you want to make money online, you don't need 1 million followers. Even 1,000 words. Brutally honest. Okay? 1,000 followers, very targeted, very specific. Your identity is clear. The problem the client you are serving is clear. Right? You can make money from 1,000 followers. So right, again, most definitely, some people want fame. If you want to do that, you can lean towards engagement specific reels for sure, but it's not necessary. You don't need 1 million followers. 1,000 followers can also help you make millions. There have been studies, there have been people that have made millions just through 1,000 followers. Okay? It's just streamlining everything and having a super specific product that is aligned with your audience. Okay, once you have built your audience, now again, talk about the product, right? Whatever your product is, and talk about this thing, how it is solving whatever problem your client is facing, right? Step by step. Okay, and when it comes to Instagram, obviously take one problem, elaborate upon it. That is how you go deeper to go broader. Trends, right? Trends help you go broader. And the reels that work the best are reels that you are not speaking in those reels. Generally, like when you are speaking a lot, you are niching and cutting down your audience. Only people that understand your language will take a look at that reel. But if you are not speaking, how many of you have seen Khabi? KHABY. Right? How many followers does Khabi have? How many million? More than 80 million followers. The guy does not even speak on his reels. Okay, and he collaborates with big names like Will Smith. Right? He promoted Bad Boys for Will Smith. All he does is body language related things, and he'll just take a reel in which someone is doing something incorrect, and then he'll just make an expression okay, how this is wrong, and then he'll do it simply, and then he'll just be like, right? That's all he does. Using this, he accumulated an audience of 50 million plus. Okay, so that is a format that works. How many of you know who Ashton Hall is? Ashton Hall. If you don't know Ashton Hall, I'm sure you might have heard of Ankit Bayanpuria. Yes, Ankit के बारे में सबने सुना? What did he do? He took a format, right? जिसके अंदर he's speaking in his very native language, complete एकदम niche down हरियाणवी में बात कर रहा है वो. Okay, and in that he talked about 75 hours. In those 75 days, he gained more than 3 million followers. More than 3 million followers within a span of 35 days, 75 days. Okay, massive. One format, he did on a daily basis. That's it. Okay, so again, you can have, and by the way, Ashton Hall did something similar, but he cut the voice part out. Okay, Ashton Hall decided that okay, I'll do something similar, but I'll not even speak, and all he did was ASMR. So he's not even speaking. Ankit is at least he's narrating that okay, you know, I did this, I did that, and he's giving his entire day. Ashton Hall is not even narrating, he's not even speaking, he's just using sounds because that is what people are relating to more. And then again, he's scaling it up. Right? Now that being said, in both of these scenarios, their audience, right, that they were attracting, Ashton Hall will attract fitness-minded people more, similar to Ankit Bayanpuria. Why? Because their audience is clear. Now once they have that audience, they can launch their personal coaching thing, they can launch their product, they can launch whatever it is that they want. Alright? So objective, right, or audience, interchangeable. After that, just identify the format, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, because what works on Instagram does not work on LinkedIn as much. What works on LinkedIn does not work on Instagram as much. So what is your format? Whoever your audience is, in which format are they there? Like for example, if you're looking for a job, Instagram not the best place, LinkedIn wonderful. Right? If you're looking to attract customers and consumers, LinkedIn is not the best place, Instagram can help you attract more customers. Right? If you are looking for, let's say, something that's more deeper, more long form, you have a coaching thing that you are doing, right? And you want clients for that. A mix of Instagram and YouTube would work best. And LinkedIn also works. Right? But since it is primarily you giving advice and knowledge to people in a deeper format, YouTube videos would work optimally. Instagram will help you grab attention. YouTube will help you convert that attention. Okay? So be extremely clear in whatever your objective is with your personal brand. Right? What are you trying to sell? If you're not trying to sell, what are you trying to build? What kind of audience? All of that. Once you have that extremely, with crystal clear clarity, then go down and start creating, following the guidelines that you have built before. Okay, this is my audience. This is who I'm trying to attract, and whatever trends you have, try and adapt those trends based on everything I just mentioned. Okay, does that make sense? Perfect. How much time do we have, by the way? 1:30, right? Perfect. Wonderful. All right. So now let's talk about leverage. And by the way, do you have any questions so far? I'll just take 5-10 minutes if you have any questions based on whatever I explained. Anything? No questions? Perfect. Shall we move forward? Beautiful. Okay. What is leverage? What is leverage? Let's say if you want to scale your brand, what is leverage? Anyone? Anyone has read Naval Ravikant or The Millionaire Fast Lane? No one? Okay. So let's talk about wealth creation and parts of wealth creation, and leverage will tie into it. There are 3 parts of wealth in The Millionaire Fast Lane, which is a book by M.J. DeMarco. Okay. Now, first part is the slow lane, or sorry, not the slow lane, sidewalk. What are you trying to do? Let's say you want to go from here to Delhi. Okay, here to Delhi, and you choose to walk on the sidewalk. When will you get there? Probably never. Okay, it's the sidewalk. You cannot walk your way to Delhi. I mean, you can, but it does not make sense. Okay, so sidewalk is the path wherein you have no personal brand. You are not, by the way, all of you have a personal brand, but you are not utilizing your personal brand. Right? You are not investing money on the side. You are doing nothing with it. Okay, and it's just there on the side. Right? And you are just earning and spending all of your money. That's all you are doing. You will never achieve your financial goals. That is the first part. Second part is the slow lane. Right? You want to go from here to Delhi. You take a car. You'll get there eventually. And what does that mean? You are utilizing your personal brand, let's say, not to the maximum extent, and you are investing on the side. Then you did a job, right? You used your internal, for example, base level personal brand. You did nothing online. You did not get any online presence. You just focus on your internal and your personal brand, which is offline. You only use that, and will you become successful? Yes. Even if you utilize that to the fullest extent, you can become very successful for sure. Okay. And you invest money on the side, you will get rich eventually after 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, that's the slow lane. Then comes the fast lane. What is the fast lane? You can build wealth in as little as 2 years if you do well. Okay, the fast lane requires you to leverage your personal brand to the maximum extent. Okay, use Instagram, use YouTube, use LinkedIn, use whatever means of leverage you have to scale yourself up. I'll be talking about leverage as we move forward. Right? You consistently do that. Right? Why? Because these are outsized returns. You put in X, you might get 2x, 5x, 10x, 1000x, millionx. If I am putting a reel on Instagram, right? That reel can be about anything. Okay? It can get, let's say it took me, 2 hours to make that reel. Now in return, let's say maybe even only 1000 people watch it and I get a watch time of 2 hours, or it can get up to, let's say, 10,000 views, 20,000 views, a million views too. So these are outside returns. I put in 2 hours, literally 2 hours, and I got back how much? I don't know, like million multiplied by whatever the time is. Right? So these are outsized returns. Okay, based on that, you are attracting audience that can relate to that reel. Okay, so you build your customer base very quickly. So that is attention. By the way, there are 3 things that you need to keep in mind when you are communicating with anyone. There are only 3 goals of communication. Number 1 is attention. That's what everyone is trying to do on Instagram reels, right? Grab attention. But attention is not enough. You need the second thing, which is connection. Okay, when you have connection, that is when things move forward and opportunities come your way. Right? I got the opportunity to speak over here. Why? Because I had the right connections. My connections helped me. Right? After connection comes action. What action do you want them to take? It could be anything. It could be something as small as you wanting them to buy your product, or something as big as you wanting to start a movement for a cause that you support and doing rallies. Okay, so that is what action is, and it only comes after connection. If you have 1 million followers but none of them are connected to you, you cannot get them to take action. You have 1,000, you are very deeply connected with them, you can get them to take massive action. Okay, make sense? Attention, connection, action. Right? So moving forward, when you are on the fast lane, right, you are consistently creating output, creating content, building a personal brand online as well as offline, right? That is when you are flooded with opportunities and you are actually able to scale your personal brand up. Okay, whether it's job opportunities, whether it's building your own business, anything, your personal brand can help you in anything and everything. Okay, so what I would recommend is, let's say you do not have a product in mind, but you know who you are. Ask yourself, who can I help the most? That is how you begin with building your audience first, if you do not have a purpose in mind. Right? Once you have that in mind, that who can I help the most. For example, if I were to talk about me, who can I help the most? I can help people in leadership positions lead better in terms of their ability to speak in front of an audience. Right? I can help other people as well in terms of their confidence in masses. Right? So that's what I do. I coach business leaders on a one-on-one basis. Right? And then I also coach group coaching. I also take group coaching cohorts, for example. Right? So these are one of few ways. Now I again plan to scale this up in a different way. Right? After a point of time, what happens? You will not relate to the same thing. Because if you are upskilling yourself on a regular basis, you will evolve as a person, and your personal brand also evolves with you. So you might start with something else, right? But you might end up with something that you did not even imagine. Right now, I'm inclined towards helping people perform better, peak performance, right? Having a stronger mindset, building a life of your choosing. These are some topics that I'm now more inclined towards. That is where I'll be taking my personal brand as I move forward. Okay, so your personal brand evolves with you. You do not have to necessarily begin and be okay, you know what, this is the only thing that I'm focusing on. It's okay for you to move and maneuver. Right? Understand? Right, so now let's talk about leverage. I talked about leverage. There are different forms of leverage. There is permissioned leverage and permissionless leverage. What is permissioned leverage? So leverage is me giving an input and me getting maximized or outsized output. Permission leverage is people and capital. Okay, let's say if I want a team, right, that is permission. I cannot get people to work for me without their permission. Okay, I cannot use money without someone else giving it to me. So this is permissioned leverage. Right? Using both of these, you can create outside returns for sure. Okay. Second is permissionless leverage. Permissionless leverage is code and content. Okay, so code is basically you creating software. Right? You make it once, you can use it as many times as you want. Right? That is why software as a service is booming. SaaS. Right? Nowadays, new age money. So there's old money, there's new money. Old money is in oil. oil, real estate, most people that you see that are making money through that, that is old money. They already have had that wealth for quite some time. New money is software and content. Right? So people that are coming up right now using their content and using softwares, that is new money. Right? So both of these things you can leverage. If you already have the previous thing, right? Your dad has a company, so you already have access to people. Okay, you already have access to capital. If you don't have money, right, then you still have your phone. Right? You still have your laptop. You can use permissionless leverage, code, and content. Right? Content is basically your personal brand, and again, all of this, ultimately it all boils down to how you are leveraging your personal brand to scale whatever product or service you have. How can you scale it up? Okay? Am I making sense? So let me just do some interactions. If I were to ask you to build your personal brand, right? Let me just ask a few people, how would you decide to begin? And by the way, how many of you already have a personal brand that has online presence? Offline, to take all of you have. So all of you already have a personal brand offline. How many of you have a personal brand that has some sort of online presence? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, go ahead. And by the way, what are you doing with your personal brand? What are your goals?
So my name is Avinash Singh Tomar, and
Avinash Singh Tomar.
on Instagram I do create reels fitness related and powerlifting related.
Oh wow!
As I am into powerlifting and I don't have that much of a follower, but still
Doesn't matter.
I do create reels.
Okay, thank you so much. Round of applause for it. Now, if I were to ask you to, let's say, and you can stay seated. Now you want to scale things up. You have this knowledge that okay, your personal brand can be used to that extent as well. What is the best way in which you can use your personal brand to level yourself up? If I were to ask you that, what would you say?
First of all, I would compete in competitions like district level and then other competitions. Then I'll start creating content by teaching others so that they can also learn the basics of powerlifting and the fitness and also other fitness related stuff. By that, so that I can connect to my audience and reach out to other audience also.
Perfect, man. Round of applause for good job. Okay, so you have an audience, you decide that okay, you want to teach that audience, and now after teaching that audience, you have 8 more audience, and you are deciding to sell a product or service to them. Perfect, love it. So I'll tell you one more thing. Let's talk about stories. You know what? Let's not talk about stories. Let's talk about actions. Let me ask you. If you want anyone to take any sort of action, what drives action? For example, Apple, right? Apple got me to buy their phone. Okay, that is an action they wanted me to take. How did they do it? How did they get me to take this action? How do we even take actions, by the way? Anyone? Yes, go ahead.
So, according to the knowledge or information that we have about the surroundings,
What does that knowledge or information do?
so that it helps us to understand, like for example, to give an example of Apple, so they understood about the market, they understood about what exactly the people are eager to have, right? The designs, the softwares, the
Features that they provide. For example, Samsung was the first AI to be specific and a very good AI, right? So people are like they understood that people are more eager and the generation is more eager to use new technology that included AI in it. Currently, Philips has also introduced a framework which includes AI. AI is the keyword which is more focused by industries and companies right now, which is the knowledge and information that the companies have. So that's what is the main thing.
Perfect, give him a round, guys. Beautiful. But to elaborate upon it further, what drives actions? Surface level pay, emotions. Emotions drive actions. I bought Apple's iPhone because Apple tapped into the right set of emotions that I wanted to feel. Right? What does, for example, iPhone signify to the society? What does iPhone signify? आप किसी के हाथ में iPhone देखते हो, आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है? एक image आती है, status. Right? I did not buy an iPhone, I bought status. To be honest, why do people spend on cars? Super fast, super cars, क्यों खर्च करते हैं? Why do I have a collection of cars? They don't need it. 20 गाड़ियाँ कौन चलाने वाला है? Status. Right? That is the emotion they want. Status. You sell status, people are willing to pay money for status. Okay? So actions are driven by emotions. What is the emotion that you are targeting? And how can you evoke emotions, by the way? How are emotions evoke? अगर मुझे किसी को कोई emotion feel करवाना है, मैं क्या करवा सकता हूँ? Louder. Sentiments. Okay, sentiments, emotions, same things. How? What drives sentiments or what drives emotions? It's not about conversation. Let's say we talk about branding. Okay, or in a bigger picture, what drives emotions?
So like connecting to their problems. So like if I want something and if that brand focus on that problem, so I would more go to that brand. Like if we talk about dairy milk. So what they do in branding, like if Raksha Bandhan is coming, so they have a tagline, "Kuch to meetha ho jaye."
Perfect,
So
absolutely.
they connect with emotions of people, and then people more likely to buy dairy milk on Raksha Bandhan to give their sister or whichever they want.
Absolutely, give her a round of applause. To elaborate upon it further, what drives emotions are narratives and stories. Okay? Narratives and stories drive emotions. You hear a happy story, you become happy. You hear a sad story, you become sad. That is how brands also use. For example, Apple, let's say, the way it positions status also is if you have, how many of you have seen Suits, the TV show? Okay. Have you ever seen in a show by Apple TV, the bad guy has an iPhone? Have you ever seen that the bad guy carries an iPhone? No, because Apple does not position itself in that manner. Okay, if it's produced by Apple TV or it's associated by Apple TV in any way, Apple is anyway involved, the bad guy will never carry an iPhone. The most classy guy will most definitely have an iPhone if it's related to, that. Harvey Specter has an iPhone in Suits. Okay, why? Because again, they are tapping into emotions, they are narrating, they are creating a narrative that, okay, you know what, classy people like Harvey Specter, they use iPhones. Right? Intelligent people, lawyers that are on the good side, that you are going to like, they use iPhones. Okay? So the way they position themselves creates a narrative and creates a story. Similarly, the way you communicate with people. For example, how many of you know who Rebel Cat is? Right? A lot of you, okay? Now again, a super intelligent person might not resonate with her as much. Okay, they're like, okay, too dramatic, I want peace in my life, I don't want her. Okay, I don't want to watch the stories. But someone that is very emotion driven, that wants to listen to a lot of narratives and relate with that sort of thing. Okay, if they want that drama, they'll definitely go to her. Right? Because, and dude, by the way, if you haven't seen her content, she is one of the most proficient storytellers I have ever seen. I kid you not, Rebel Kid, I saw her YouTube video, her expressions, the way she narrates her stories, most definitely don't, okay, ignore her choices, right? Ignore the choices that she makes, but the way she narrates stories, my God, hats off to her. Okay, so you can learn that from her. And storytelling is a major part of her success. Okay, she like boomed like anything because of her ability to narrate stories. And there's another guy, JNS, Jairaj Nihal Singh. Does anyone know of him? JNS? Hey JNS, you know? You heard of him? Yes. So the way he does is that now he's a 27-year-old techpreneur and he creates sarcastic reels about how rich and luxurious his life is. Okay, and he'll be saying stupid stuff that that has power words in it, and that grabs people's attention. He'll be like, I'm getting in my BMW because my jet is under maintenance, and he'll say stuff like that. He does not have a jet, but he'll say random things like that evoke emotions, and as a result, he's able to grab a lot of attention, which he diverts to his app, to his tech company, which is Track Check. Okay. As a result, TrackCheck has gained massive traction because of his presence on personal branding and all of that. Okay, so you can directly boost your company with your personal brand or indirectly boost it. That is up to you. All right. So, what time is it? Okay, it's 11:15. Alright, so far we talked about internal stuff, basically 7 levels of life, right? Which is thoughts. Thoughts lead to beliefs. Beliefs lead to mindset. Mindset leads to action. Actions lead to habits. Habits lead to identity, and identity leads to a dream life. Okay, so these are 7 levels of life. Understand that with as much clarity as possible. I'll share with you, this thing is called Rule of 300. This is by Dan Martell. Dan Martell is the author of the book called Buy Back Your Time. Okay, and he teaches entrepreneurs how to gain their time back and scale their business. Okay, he said that there is this rule of 300 which enables you to become successful. If you have 100% clarity, 100% belief, 100% of the time, it is impossible for you to not become successful. Okay, so 100% clarity, know exactly what it is that you want in each level of life. 100% believe that it is most definitely possible. If someone else has done it, you can do it too. Okay, and have this 100% of the time. Okay, moments of weakness, that is what lead to your spark diminishing, and that is what you need to keep alive. If the spark diminishes, you're gone. But if it's alive, you can move forward and you can build the life of your dreams. Okay, so that's rule of 300. Have 100% clarity. And what I mean by clarity, you are able to explain it in one statement, one paragraph, one page, and 20 pages. Okay, if you have a life purpose, someone asks you in a single sentence, what would you say? That's one statement. For example, my life statement, my life purpose, to be the strongest, healthiest, and most competent version of myself while helping others accomplish the same through my unique ability to speak and motivate people. That's one statement. Okay, and I have a 20-page version of it too. Right? So that is what I mean by having that clarity. Okay, once you have that clarity, use your personal brand to walk the fast lane. Not the slow lane, not the sidewalk, the fast lane. What does fast lane mean? Use leverage. Don't even use it, exploit it. Okay, spat it. Right, literally mature load. These are massive opportunities that you have. Today you can build wealth faster than ever. It is possible. Okay, once you leverage and understand these systems. Right, walk the fast lane, build your personal brand, purpose or audience, whatever it is, whatever comes first. If you want to build your audience first, you can do that. You can introduce a product or service later. If you have a product or service first, your purpose first, you can do that. Once you have that, once you have identified your audience, serve that audience as much as possible. Right, to attract it, engage and entertain that audience. Right, to sell it, educate that audience. Right, attention, connection, action. Right, you do that on a regular basis, you will build a very strong personal brand. Just know who your audience is, serve it, and yes, that's all from my end. Any questions you guys would like to ask? No? Alright, so I'll be handing it over to you. Thank you so much. Okay, there's a question? Yes, go ahead.
I have a question. If I have some brand,
If you have a
if I have a small brand,
Okay.
and I am sitting in a room full of entrepreneurs or some businessmen, right? So, and they have massive big brand, and in that room I know 4 or 5 people who is living my dream life.
Okay.
So how can I gain their attention, or I would say how can I connect with them, because they don't need me, I need them